Hey everyone, okay. So I think that I'm not obsessed with the way I look. I don't spend hours a day studying the size of my pores or going in the mirror and pulling everything back to see what it would look like. But what I wanted to share is what happened with me this week and some of the feelings that I had over what had happened. So, as most of you know, from the age of 27, 28, I had Botox done. And originally that was done to treat frequent headaches and migraines, which they do across the sort of forehead area and round about here. And after I'd had it done, all the wrinkles that were in my forehead, all the lines, were gone. Within 2 weeks, they were all wiped clean. And it was one of those moments where I was like, and I then decided to get it done in the frown, which is not for the treatment of headaches, and around the eyes, so that when you smile, they don't crease the same way. And I've been having that done since I was, say, 28, and I'm 35 now. Around about when I was 29, I decided to get 2 fillers put in here. And fillers are not permanent. These were ones that dissipate over a period of 3 to 9 months. I was very, very lean at the time as well. So I didn't have much weight on me. So there were 2 really thick lines here that I didn't like. So I had them filled. Nobody knew I'd had it done and nobody ever commented, but I knew. But when I smiled, it no longer looked like me. There was no crease there at all. So I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. And I've had IPL, which is a pulse laser that gets rid of broken veins and capillaries. And I've also had, which was about 6 months ago, Infinity, which is like lots of pins being pricked into the skin, which stimulates collagen. And I've always been very honest about these things because I think it's best to be honest, rather than somebody say, you've got great skin, what do you use? And they say, oh, I just use soap and water. So I've always been honest. And last week, it's a week today, I decided to get CO2 laser done, just on the eye area. They laser around the eyes, right up to the lower lash line and the parts of the crease. This will increase collagen a lot, and it tightens the skin, so any bags under the eyes and those sort of things become less visible and the skin gets tighter. And this happens immediately and then over a period of 6 months. What happens, I'm going to show you the pictures. What happened was, for me, it was an incredibly painful procedure. It hurt. Some people say that it didn't. For me, it hurt. I felt it a lot. It wasn't a comfortable procedure. Afterwards, there was some burning on the skin. Then after that, there was, the day after, the most amount of swelling I've ever seen. I had no lower eyelid margins at all. They were completely swollen. It was the most awful day I've ever had in terms of doing something to my face. It was just awful. I hated it. I was icing my face every half an hour for 10 minutes. By Wednesday, the swelling had completely gone down. I healed really quickly. But I came to sort of a realization on the Wednesday. The first one was, after all the swelling had gone down, my immediate reaction was, ooh, that was quick. I could do this again. And the second one came in the evening, and that's not a good sign when you start to think, I could do this again, because that's the sign that something is wrong. And the second thing was, in the evening, I was looking at pictures of people, nothing dirty. I was looking at pictures of people that I found attractive. Not one of those people that I was looking at had an ultra smooth skin, had no wrinkles. They all had wrinkles. They all had texture issues with their skin, and I always found them really attractive. And I think when you're a makeup artist, you are applying makeup to oftentimes people with the most beautifully flawless canvas that's tight. Everything looks good, and you can start to think that you want that yourself. And it occurred to me on the Wednesday following it that that isn't actually how I want to look. I want to look like a man. I want to look like a 35-year-old man, because that's what I am. I don't want the face of a child. I don't want the face of a 20-year-old, because I'm 35. And all these things I thought I wanted, I realized that I didn't want after all. And it took having the CO2 laser done for me to kind of realize that this was no longer for me. And while I will still get Botox to treat headaches and migraines, I will no longer be getting it around the other areas that don't need it. It was just a bit of a wake-up call for me, I think. The beauty industry is one that is beautiful, but it's also unrealistic, and I don't want to become a part of that. I think that I think doing whatever you want to your skin is wonderful, but for me, I'd had enough now. Yes, there has been some improvement from the laser, but not that much improvement, believe me. When I smile, the lines under the eyes are no longer as crepey, but they're still there. It would probably take another 2 lasers to get rid of those. I can't be bothered. I will not be doing it. But each to their own. I still think if you are one of these people that is really looking to treat areas on the face, it's much better to go to a dermatologist who can really do something, that can do something and alter it, rather than spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on skincare that really can't do the same thing. But it's not for me anymore. This experience with the laser was enough for me to stop and think and stop, because when you've had something done which is quite horrific, that causes your eyes this intense swelling, and then the day after it's all gone and you think, I could do this again, and if I could do this, what else could I get done? Maybe I could cut my skin. So for me it was enough. But I wanted to share it with you and share my thoughts on my thoughts on this procedure and my thoughts on it in general. While I think it's great to do anything you want to make yourself feel better and look better, for me this was the final straw, and I'll just be letting nature take its course while using skincare, retin A, exfoliants, sunscreen, all of that. I'm still going to do all of that, but I'm no longer going to be chasing something, because even if the under eyes were so smooth that nothing moved, I still go to bed at night with the same worries and the same anxieties and the same fears. None of that changes, just a wrinkle gets removed. So for me, it was enough for me to stop. But I wanted to share the pictures with you so you can see what it's like, because oftentimes when we see lasers, we see the after. We don't see the before, which can be quite horrific. I healed within 5 days. It can take up to 10 days, and the redness that goes around the eye can take up to 3 months to go away. There can also be pigmentation changes on certain skin tones. None of it's a walk in the park and needs to be researched. But for me, I've had enough, and I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.